Yeah, I can. It actually sticks in my mind really significantly, because I was a netballer, and the traditional transition from netball to basketball that I know other people have talked about. I had a basketball tournament with school, never played before. I think I was in year 10 or year 11, so 14, 15, 16, and it was at the Trafford Basketball Centre, and it was a relatively new basketball centre. And they said, right, well, we're going to put some girls' sessions on. Do you fancy coming down? So I was like, oh yeah, I'll do that. And literally from that minute, there was no stopping me. I was at this basketball centre pretty much 5-6 times a week, refereeing, coaching, table officiating, playing. Yeah, it was fantastic. So that's where it all started at 15 years of age, and continued till where I am now at, well, nearly 38. I think throughout my whole career, so to speak, there's been players that I've looked at and thought, wow, I wish I could play as well as them, which I couldn't. And I think the same with referees. There's not really a specific referee or player that I look up to specifically. I think I maybe look across and say, oh, I really like what that person does, or I really like the way that person looks on court. And I don't necessarily try and copy, but I try and take little bits from referees that I've seen and players from what I've seen. But I have to say, refereeing more, because that's what I've done for the last however many years now. I didn't play. I started playing, then I stopped playing to then go into the refereeing, and sort of spiraled from there. So it was a decision that if I want to continue with the refereeing, then focus on that rather than playing, which was fine by me. I was never going to make the top team. This is going to sound really strange, but I'm not very good at going, right, in summer 2009, I was in Italy refereeing this game. I'm really bad, and I've actually written everything down. I've got photos because that's how I remember. I would say the biggest moment, and it's actually a bit of a blur, is officiating Commonwealth Games bronze medal. I mean, that I judge myself and think that actually happened. So that was amazing, and the whole experience was amazing. I think you definitely have to be a good communicator. You obviously have to know the rules of the game, which I'm hoping everyone does when they step on court. You have to be humble. I think you have to also appreciate the constructive criticism that's available, and the mentors that are available, and they're there to help. They're not there to criticise and put you down. Taking feedback on board, I think that if you get that feedback and you can then implement it into the next game, and you're learning in every single game, that's really important. And I say to the younger, if you get to a game and you think, actually, I've done nothing, I've learned nothing from this game, for me it's definitely time not to referee anymore. And again, the same with the player, really. Every single game's different. They'll learn from every single game. Same with the coaches, same with the table officials. So yeah, they're some of the things that I think are very, very important. Of course, the higher level you get, levels of fitness, communication skills across different language barriers, body language, all of these things. And I think it's nice to have, a personality on court and be able to communicate with players. It's not a case of ruling with the rule book, so to speak. It's having that. We are, all human beings. We actually all make mistakes as well, whether you're a player, coach, or indeed a referee. Obviously, the referee mistakes are maybe more widely criticised, but I suppose that's what we sign up for. But that's some of the things that I think are important. there's nothing that sticks in my mind. I think it depends on what mood and what you're doing at the time. You know, I think on last week I was listening to E17, which I did when I was, you know, back in the day when I was young, and then you move on to something else. So for me, I don't really have anything that's favourite. I probably should do, like, you know, my wedding song and things like that, but I don't really, but I can remember those, so that's a good thing. I think, and I would hope, that people would say I was a good person. I was a good referee. I was approachable, and I think, yes, did the best that I did every single time I stepped on the court, really. I think would be how I'd like to be remembered. And most of the time I do smile and have a smile on my face, because I enjoy and love what I do, so hopefully that comes across as well. Well, okay, let's go for 5 referees, because again, I'm rubbish with names. I have got better. I probably, well, before the season was out, I knew every single player's name in the BBL, so that's taken a while for me to learn. So we'll go really geeky. I'll go back to my roots in Manchester. So I'll say my husband, Paul Unsworth, and brother-in-law, Simon Unsworth, and I'll go with a solid player with and referee, Paul Walton, and I'll go with Steve Ferris. So I will stick with the Manchester crew there for the dream team. Hopefully people will agree with that as well.